Today we're talking about Lunacy Audio's Cube, which is a virtual instrument plugin. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the user interface on it and basically tell you what this plugin does, because it's actually pretty unique. And I also wrote a 8-bar loop, and I kind of did it all within under an hour, so I did it pretty quickly. But you can kind of hear what you can do with this plugin in a quick amount of time, which obviously we all want to create stuff pretty quickly because, you know, time is money in the studio. And I think you guys are going to really like what this plugin can do. So, if you guys want to learn more about Lunacy Audio's Cube, stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So before we get to the video, make sure you guys smash that like button. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So without further ado, today we're talking about Lunacy Audio's Cube. So what is Cube? Well, I'm on the Lunacy Audio website here, and I think the best way that we can learn about what it is by reading the description. So let me scroll down here. So it says, it is your new sonic playground. Cube is a creative sample-based virtual instrument with hundreds of inspiring sounds and factory presets all bundled in a stunning 3D interface. Explore beautiful cinematic pads, gritty bass pulses, intimate felt pianos, wild analog synth textures, and much more. With such versatility, Cube is the perfect gender-bending instrument for any composer, producer, or artist looking to reshape their sound. So, that has a lot of cool stuff in it, just in that statement there. Let's scroll down some more. A 3D sound blender. Cube is a 3D space for morphing between different samples. Each corner of the cube is a sound, and you can use the orb in the middle to blend these sounds together. The closer the orb is to a corner, the louder the sound will be. Drag the orb with your mouse, control it with external hardware, or choose from over 40 automatic orb motion paths. So that's what makes this plugin really cool, and we're going to talk more about that when we actually get into the interface within Pro Tools. And overall, these are some of the feature overviews here. And we have 100 plus sampled instruments, 400 plus presets, 40 plus orbits, 8 samplers, 13 FX modules, powerful modulation system, and this says they got 4 detailed LFOs, macro control, and beautifully designed modulation matrix, custom graphics engine, orbit customizer, randomized algorithms, eco mode, custom MIDI control, expanding content. So that's what's cool about this is this plugin is going to build more content over time, even though you already have a ton to start with, which is great about it. So that is what Cube is in a nutshell. You know, just reading about it. Of course, you guys want to actually see how it works, and that's what we're going to do next. So why don't we get into Pro Tools and take a look at the user interface, and we are going to start with the main page. Alright, so here we are in Pro Tools, and we are looking at the main page of Lunacy Audio's Cube here. Now, this tutorial is going to be more of an overview. I'm not going to be going into extreme depth within this plugin because there is a lot this thing can do. But by the end of this tutorial, you at least know how to use it and how to get sounds from it. Alright, so starting with the main page here, essentially the cube has 8 corners. So you got these 4 outside corners here and these 4 inside ones here. So you got to kind of look at the cube as 3-dimensional. Now, each one of these corners can have a sound. So what I thought would be cool is we'll just add random sounds to this and see what we come up with. And I essentially just have a chord holding out that I already laid down. It's just I think it's a C chord. And we'll see what we create. So we'll go to this first corner here, click on that. And this is where we can edit sounds. So we'll go in here, we'll pick a pad. Let's pick random stuff. So this can sound really bad or it can sound cool. I don't really know. We'll see what we end up with here. Since we're already in the sound editor here, we'll stay in here. We can actually pick the corners of the cubes right here. So we'll go down to the bottom one here, which is C. And we will pick, how about a pluck? We'll just do this piano here. Okay. Then we'll go down to this one here for B. And then how about we do a bass? And we'll do an 808. And then for D, let's do something clean. Do Apollo's Arrow. Then we'll go over to E here. How about something lush? I don't know. We'll do, how about Dirty Strobes? We'll do that. Let's go to G. Do Stark. How about some fusion? We'll do F here. We'll do something complexed. Let's see. How about Zen Waves? And then we'll go to H, which is our last one. And how about something percussive? I don't know what this will actually do in the sense of just holding out a note, but we'll try it out here. How about this Blasphemous Kiss? I'm sorry, kick. So let's select that. And now we have all 8 of our corners filled up. So let's actually hear what sound this created. Let me go back to the main page here. And let's give it a listen. All right, so I actually got lucky there. I actually think that sounds really good. So essentially, again, that's just me playing a chord and I'm looping it 4 times there. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. So now let's take the orb in the middle here and let me move it around and let's see how the sound changes. Let's give it a listen. All right, cool. So you can see as I moved it to the different corners, how those particular samples became more prevalent. All right. So now let's actually talk about some of the other parameters within this main window, starting with ether. So ether basically allows you to modify the sound's intensity. As you bring it up, the sound gets more intense, but really what it does, it goes between 2 different samples that have been recorded per sample. So what basically I'm saying is that per sample that's in here, the people at Lunacy Audio had made 2 different kind of versions of it. And this ether fader allows you to go between them in increments and kind of maybe blend the 2 of them. That's kind of why we're using a fader as opposed to like a switch between, you know, version 1 and version 2. So what I'm going to do now is let's play it again and I will move this ether fader up and down and then you can hear what it does to the sound. Let's give it a listen. So the sound definitely got more intense as we brought it up. We definitely got some more sizzle out of one of the synths in there for sure. And as we brought it down, the sound was overall more dull. So that is what the ether fader does. So let's move over to the macro knob over here. And the macro knob actually does something different per preset. So I can't really tell you what it does because again, it does something different per preset. However, we're not using a preset. So right now I chose 8 different sounds for the 8 different corners. If I move this macro knob now, it does absolutely nothing. So I have nothing for you to hear with it. So we're not going to listen to it, unfortunately. But again, just to let you know, it changes the sound in different ways per preset. That's what it does. Going down to the filter here, this essentially is simply a low pass filter. And a cool thing with this here, which you hear in a lot of modern music, is you might want to automate this so you can kind of, bring it down and up, and that's going to make the sound obviously more dull as you bring it down because you're cutting out all the high frequencies. You've probably heard this sound a million times, but I'm going to play it anyway, and then I'll bring the filter down, and then I'll bring it up, and you can, hear what it sounds like. All right, so let's give it a listen. So again, the filter knob is something that I would probably automate, or if I wanted to roll off some high end, that's what I would use it for, okay? And the other thing I want to go over in the main window is your modulators at the bottom. So let me click on this here. So you have 4 LFOs, and I think I mentioned that when we were going over the overview on the website. You could actually add these LFOs to, I believe, any of these controls on the page here. Well, maybe not any of them, but for example, we can drag LFO 1 onto the filter here, and now it's part of the filter. And then, as we move this here, it's going to affect the LFO. So that is pretty much everything you need to know about the main page. I know you see something regarding the orbit motion at the bottom, but I actually want to save that for the orbits page. So with that being said, let's move on to the orbits page next. All right, so we are on the orbits page here, and there's actually quite a bit to it. So what I want to do is I want to just simplify it for you and show you how I would use it. And what you got on the right hand side here is your presets. And what these presets do is they affect how the orb here is actually going to move. So for example, if we pick Chocolate Kiss, let's pick that. You can see that we have this thing randomly moving here. If we do Bow Tie, you'll see that it's different, okay? And by choosing one of these presets here, it did the enable orbit over here, and this makes it, of course, enabled. And then beneath this here, we can choose how we want this to affect it from a bar standpoint. So I have a 2-bar loop, so I'm actually going to make this 2 bars. And let's actually test out this bow tie preset here. And then maybe we'll listen to a couple different of them here so you can hear what they sound like. So let's give it a listen. So pretty cool, huh? That is really what makes the cube unique. It's this orb section here, and you have these great presets in here, and you can also go over here and create your own preset using the Create New Orb button here. And again, all you need to do in this section here is basically choose a preset or create your own, choose the bars you want it to be, and then make sure this is enabled. Again, this will automatically become enabled if you select a preset. And again, there are further options in here to customize the sound, but this will definitely get you started and usually in a good place. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to the next section, which we kind of looked at earlier, but that is the sounds page. All right. So on the sounds page here, again, we were here earlier. This is where you are able to select the different sounds/samples for the different sections of the cube. Again, in this little section here, we can select which corner of the cube we want to add the sound to. And then when you're on that particular sound, you have these different options to adjust per sound, okay? So this is the basic mode that we're on now. So these are basic adjustments. If you want to get further into adjusting the sound, you can go to Tweak. So you can have further adjustments over the arpeggios built in, and you can adjust the steps and such forth, and also the stereo width. And there's several other things in here. You can really adjust to your heart's content, okay? Again, If you're a synth designer, this is not me, but if you are, you can really go in here and tweak these to your heart's desire. I really think the sounds that come with this are really cool how they are, and I really like the presets, which we'll talk about later. Okay, so this is the sound section in a nutshell. Again, just an overview. You pick the corner, you go into your browser here, pick the sound you want, and then you have the options under basic and tweak to customize that sound further. All right, so next let's move on to the mod page. All right, so for the mod page, this is pretty straightforward. This has the 4 LFOs that we talked about earlier on the main page. And this is where you can actually go in and make adjustments to each of them. And then if you want to see where they're actually tied to control-wise, you can go to the mod matrix down here, and this will show you. And if you remember earlier, we actually tied LFO1 to the global filter, and you can see right here that it is currently tied to the global filter, okay? So that is the mod page in an overview here. There's really nothing else that I want to go into it here. All I suggest is that if you want to use the LFOs, just assign them to controllers, play with them, and get them to your liking, and that's pretty much it. All right, so let's move on to the next page, which is the effects page. All right, so the effects section is actually quite robust. We have 8 different effects here. Now, starting on the left, we have the filter, and this is your low pass, it's your high pass, band pass, and notch filters. And then next to that, we have the EQ. Now to enable this, we need to press equalizer here or press the little dot in the top right corner. And then when we do that, if we want to add a band, we simply just double click anywhere. I'm not sure how many bands we can add. Let's see. Looks like we might have, I don't know, it could be unlimited for all I know. So, but you definitely won't run out of bands. Okay, and then next to that, we have distortion. And then we have our dynamics, which is basically your compressor. We have chorus. We have delay. We have reverb. And then you also have a limiter, which looks like it is active automatically, which is good. So with all these effects here, you basically almost don't even need any other plugins. You could pretty much dial in the sound completely with all these effects in here. So again, just to recap, you got your 8 different effects here. And to enable them, you need to click on the top right corner here. So it's lit up in purple, or you can simply click on the name, which is in a box in here per module. Click on this here. It will also make it light up in purple and therefore make it active. And I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like you can actually drag these. So it looks like the effects chain order is fixed. So that is, I guess, one caveat, but hey, still really nice effects suite. So let's move on now and talk about the 400 plus presets that exist in this plugin. All right, so your preset browser can be accessed right in the middle here where it says INIT. Let's click on this. And this is all the presets in here. They're broken down into category and character. So there's quite a bit, as mentioned, over 400. So I thought it'd be cool if we just kind of maybe listen to a few of them in here using the chord that I'm holding out. So maybe we'll start with the category of ARP. And I don't know, we'll start with Aqua Fingers. And I'll kind of just change through some of these categories as I play through it. So let's give it a listen. right, cool. So those are just a couple of the many presets that exist in here. So again, you can go in here, you can choose your category, you can break it down into character. You can also choose multiple categories together. So if I did pulse and pad, it'll break it down to certain presets that cover both of these categories. Okay. You can also make your own presets and save them under user. All right. So last in this tutorial, what I want to do is I want to play you the 8-bar loop that I wrote, again, in under an hour. It has quite a bit of stuff in it, I guess, for writing it under an hour. It actually has these tracks down here. So we've got a kick snare, hi-hat, we got some percussion, we have an ARP, piano, pad, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to play this 8-bar loop for you, and I'll loop it up twice so you can hear what it sounds like. It's kind of a lo-fi kind of, I don't know really how to describe it. So you guys can let me know what you guys think in the description below. So let's give it a listen. All right, cool. So that is my little 8-bar loop there. And as you can tell, the sounds are very lush and they're very rich. You're going to get some really good high quality sounds from this plugin. So I would love to know what you guys think of this plugin. Let me know in the comment section below. And I also have a link below where you guys can go purchase this. And if you guys end up liking this review / tutorial, give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe because I'm making this content for you, and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later, and peace out.